Welcome to Private Club Radio, your weekly source for industry education, news and discussion. Broadcasting from Tampa, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, here is your host, Gabriel Aloisi.
Welcome to Private Club Radio. It's so exciting to have you with me on this episode as I take you on a little adventure into the English countryside. On this episode, we're going to be profiling golf at Goodwood, and I'll be speaking to their general manager, Stuart Gillett. Now, you can probably hear the excitement in my voice because this is a property that's been on my bucket list for years now, ever since I first met Eddie Bullock on this show long time ago. Now, Goodwood is a special place. It sits on an 11,000 acre property owned by the Duke of Richmond. And in addition to the golf course, it features an auto race course, a horse racetrack, farms, hotels, and all sorts of other businesses. Even the Rolls-Royce factory is on the property. It's an incredible place. And golf at Goodwood is really one of the most intriguing properties and golf experiences that the world has to offer. And so I'm so excited for you to take a little peek behind the curtain with me as I interview their general manager and learn what makes Goodwood so special. It's an interesting profile into a company ethos, into a management system, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So sit back, relax, and here we go. Well, I'd love for you just to kind of give us the story and the background on golf at Goodwood and some of the history and passion behind the place.
Goodwood has evolved over the years through the sporting passions of the family. It is the family seat of the Duke of Richmond. The family had the original sort of Goodwood house was a hunting lodge back in the 18th century, and the family used to come down hunting here, and the kennels building, which is the clubhouse now, was 1786, and was the original kennels when they used to come down. Over that time, the sport has developed at Goodwood. Initially it was hunting and horse racing, but then over that time, motor racing, aviation, cricket, shooting has all sort of evolved.
Yeah.
And golf was one of those things that started. So golf started here in 1892 when the daughter of the 7th Duke, Lady Helen, she liked golf, and she got the gardeners to lay out a couple of holes behind the house. And then in 1914, James Braid was commissioned to lay out the Downs course here. And at that time, it was Goodwood Golf Club, and it moved up from Chichester, and it was here. And so golf has been played on the site for over 100 years now.
Wow.
And then it was a traditional members club on a long lease from the estate. Mm-hmm. As the estate sort of evolved, motorsport, the motor circuit took off in the middle of the last century, and it was an iconic place for motor racing. It was thriving. Then in the 60s, 1966, Sterling Moss had his crash at the circuit that ended his career. And he was very close to the Duke's grandfather, Freddie March, and racing was sort of stopped at the circuit.
Really?
It was too quick. Basically, cars were too quick, mm-hmm. and it was become too dangerous. Mm. So the circuit was mothballed, and the estate continued to exist. There was a hotel was built in the 80s, the Marriott Hotel, Marriott Goodwood Park. The other golf course was laid out there, and essentially sort of continued to evolve. The current Duke took over the running of the estate 25 years ago, developed Festival Speed and the Revival Meeting. The Festival of Speed is just celebrated its 24th year, and arguably is the greatest motor sport motor car show on the planet. The Revival meeting has just done its 25th anniversary. Again, just a global iconic event. And Golf at Goodwood. Golf at Goodwood was born in 2006. So the Duke wanted to bring everything back under the control of the estate, absolutely rightly so. And so the lease for the club wasn't extended, and the golf course was renovated, brought up to sort of modern standards by Howard Swan. The Kennels clubhouse here was redesigned, redeveloped to its existing facility, which is the private members club for all of the Goodwood sporting clubs. So Goodwood has 20,000 members in total, made up of all the different clubs. So you've got the Goodwood Road Racing Club, the Horse Racing Club, the Aero Club, the Health Club, the Golf Club, and has a social membership.
Wow.
So
that's about 2,500 or so members here. Is that correct?
Yeah. So there are. We have 2,500 golf members. When the Duke wanted to revolutionise golf, was sort of how it was made, and wanted to deliver golf very differently, and essentially was the credits membership was developed, which is a points-based membership that you buy points, they sit on your account, and they only come off when you play, which back in 2006 was obviously pretty revolutionary. No one else was doing it. There was a few places sort of doing it in some guys, but that was the only membership that was offered. And here we are 12 years later, where arguably you'd say it's probably the most successful golf club membership model in the world.
Wow.
There are plenty of other clubs with, higher fees, etc. But in terms of the acquisition we've had, especially in the last 4 to 5 years, where certainly in the UK and across Europe and globally, everyone is saying golf memberships are down, we've completely bucked that trend.
Do you feel that you're able to keep that sense of community or even exclusivity? Because I think the appeal of a private members equity club is it's owned by the members. They have that real attachment to it. It's theirs. Do you feel that the members still feel that attachment?
Yeah, I think that one of our challenges here has been, as a proprietary club, giving that sense of loyalty and commitment to our members. Now, I think that the Goodwood brand helps that. The fact that actually it's part of a much bigger picture,
right?
A much bigger business, I suppose. But I think that's certainly one of my aims here, was to create more of a club feel. And I think we're doing it. We have for the last couple of years, we've had as sort of part of our areas of focus, if you like, and our objectives is member love, because with club members, invariably those that talk loudest think they know, shout loudest think they know what everyone else wants.
Right.
That's not the case. We've done a lot of work with insights, trying to find out actually what it is our members want, which we use as business intelligence.
So how often are you surveying the members? Or
twice a year.
Wow, that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, twice a year, because it's, I think, and we want the feedback. Now you have to qualify that as well, because I always say that people will always moan about the golf course if they play badly.
Sure.
No one ever complains about bunkers when they hit a good bunker shot.
That's right.
So, you need to use that information that you get the right way. And I think that's where, because we don't have that committee structure, because we're accountable to ourselves more than anything, is that we firmly believe we have a strategy of where we're going. We know what we need to achieve along that pathway, and we're open with that communication to the members.
Right.
Yeah. Now, we've got to deliver we are members only here. Our desire would be to, start to limit group golf, the corporate golf that we do here, to really have a members only experience. But we've got to make sure that stacks up, and at the end of the year, we're able to justify the ongoing investment.
In the end, it's a business.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So let's talk about your long-term goals or plans for golf at Goodwood. As the manager now for 6 years, you've seen a lot and been a part of a lot of change here. So what's on your horizon?
The next 3 years really is about us yielding the golf course better, giving the opportunity for members to play more golf. We do, across both golf courses, we do 75,000 rounds of golf, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
Interestingly, on the park course, we have as much member usage there as we do here on the Downs, which is an interesting thing and surprises a lot of people.
And the park course is more of a resort course that was built by Marriott, is that correct?
It's a parkland layout,
right.
But it's in front of Goodwood. It's easier than the Downs course, and actually complements it very nicely. So we've got 2 golf courses that complement each other.
Yeah.
The greens are very good. It is cheaper to play on, so our charge for our credits, our points is less on that golf course. So it fits nicely. But through one of the surveys that we did, one of the questions we asked members is, what stops you playing more golf? Family time, weather, playing partners, tee time availability, or other. And interestingly, I think people would make the assumption it's tee time availability, especially when you're as busy as we are.
Yeah, 75,000, yeah.
but actually it wasn't. It was playing partners. And actually, when you then think about that, if your regular group, someone from your regular group is not available to play, who else do you play with?
Right.
And how do you access that? So one of our strategies is to try and be able to do that. Create. There are a number of WhatsApp groups that we've encouraged to happen. There's a Friends of Golf at Goodwood Facebook page. There is a forum on our Intelligent Golf membership software stuff where we try and engage us. So
nice.
Various different ways. Now, unfortunately, recently with GDPR coming in and data protection, it's quite difficult to do that.
Yeah.
However, that is something that we absolutely need to get right over the next few years. Is even with 2,500 members, I genuinely think that if you want to play golf as a member here, you should be able to get a game.
Right.
Now, this summer where we've had 30-degree temperatures for 6 weeks in a row, it's been difficult. We have been busy, but there are still, when you look at the tee sheet, there's still opportunities there to get more people on.
Very nice. I know you've put together quite a team here, everyone that I've met, and my tour here in the last day or so, just been first class. So what's your philosophy when trying to hire the right people, Stuart?
We have some key values here at Goodwood, 4 key values, which are the real thing, sheer love of life, obsession for perfection, and daring do, which when you drill down into those, it's about personality and it's about character and it's about loving what you do. And it's very difficult to find out at recruitment stage whether somebody lives and breathes those values. However, you find it out quite early on within the induction process, and we try and encourage the trial shift so people can actually see how we are.
It's important for them to like where they work too.
Absolutely. I think it's really important that, I always think that the people that will succeed here get it and it gets them. And I'd like to think we empower the team. There's a lot of autonomous working, especially early in the morning and late in the evening. So you've got to have people that are self-motivated. The millennial generation is very real. So I challenge my management team to make sure they're aware of that sense of entitlement that generation has, and actually that it's a very real thing. And above all, have fun.
Sure.
Hopefully you've picked up here that there's a real sense of fun. That's
right.
Yeah.
I've visited a few other courses and it was very professional, extremely professional and buttoned up and whatnot, but I said, the comment I made was I didn't see a smile on anyone's face.
and that's important because that's people have a perception of Goodwood. People have a perception that is quite high end, if you like, but actually we want people to enjoy themselves. We want people to be relaxed. We want people to have an experience, and experience is a bit of a buzzword at the moment, isn't it?
Sure.
In terms of hospitality and stuff. But here it is, when people come, I want them to go away and think, I've had a good day. And it's certainly the feedback we have, not just from members, but corporate partners that we have across here, these sponsors, is they're just, the team that we have within Golf at Goodwood just delivers that. Now, that's a bit of a culture. That's a behaviour that the guys that I have beneath me empower the team to do it. Yeah. And funny enough, what makes me most proud is when I'm not here, it still happens.
You're not having to put out fires.
No, absolutely. But that's always something that's important.
Sure.
You
need to be as
good as you're only as good as your day off. And actually, I can be away from the business, and the feedback I get from people is fantastic.
That's great, because I know so many managers are tied to their phones. I see them at conferences and they're sweating bullets sometimes because they're nervous about what's happening back at the club.
And you can't change anything.
Right.
You can't change anything remotely, can you?
Right.
So it's important that people understand, and especially we've just been discussing. I've got 3 young children. My home life is pretty chaotic. The modern manager has got to be able to juggle that.
Yeah.
And actually, by having great people below you, enables you to do that. Yeah. I went through as part of an internal development program a few years ago, and one of the chaps that was doing it, as part of a sort of mentor, what have you, he said to us as general managers, in terms of recruiting, get a number 2 that's better than you. And when you say that to, I suppose, inexperienced, they go, "Oh God, no!"
Right. They feel threatened by their job. Yeah.
But actually, looking back at that now, being a bit more experienced, absolutely the key.
Wow.
The key thing, because then, if you allow them, don't feel threatened and trust, it's amazing what happens. And I think, I'm incredibly proud of how my previous 2 number 2s have gone. One is now the chief executive of Moore Park, and the other is director of golf at Fox Hills, which are big jobs, and people would have probably perceived them to be big jobs for them to go into, but they've taken to it like a duck to water. And that's also part of, I suppose, me allowing them, giving them the accountability and empowerment to do that. And also makes your job a bit easier.
Certainly. So how do, I want to break down a couple of things there, because one thing you talked about is a trial shift, which I think that's a fantastic possibility that a lot of people don't even think of. So tell me how that works. You bring people on for a one day or a week?
Yeah, absolutely. How does that work? The recruiting process is we do, if we're recruiting for an operational assistant, golf services assistant, whatever it might be, someone that is on the floor, if you like. We do assessment days. So we get a bunch of guys in the room, girls in the room that are keen to do it. That's time efficient, but you see how they interact within different people.
Yeah.
Then expose them to different areas of the business, and then actually, as part of a shortlist, it may well be, if you 2 or 3 people you're not sure about, you come and put them into business for the day. Get them in at 6:30 to set up for a golf day that you got on, or a members event, and you start to see them in the workplace, because it's very easy for people to say that they'll work hard and they can do it, but actually, to get a sense of the way people operate, you have to do that.
What are some of the telltale signs that you and your staff are looking for to weed some of those folks out? Or to make sure that they match your culture?
I think it's initiative. You want people that you are going to get stuck in.
Yeah.
That are going to be able to use their own initiative and think, you know what, I don't mind cleaning buggies. I don't mind handpicking the range when it's wet. It's just picking up those traits.
Yeah.
It's those traits. And one of the things we do internally here as part of our sort of recruitment training and selection is making people understand a little bit how to pick up the traits, the energies of people, and understand that actually not everyone's going to be the same.
Yep.
And that's the other thing. It's really important that within the team you have people with different strengths. And one of the things I've said to my managers is when they go through selection, not everyone needs to be the same. Because you need different types of characters within teams to make them work.
Yeah, right. Oh, there's certainly, I think, the community environment and sharing ideas and things is so
absolutely.
important.
And I think that one of the things is in terms of development, when you have people that want to work within golf, it's also, what does that mean? Because there's a lot of different pathways to go.
Right.
There's the traditional members club, private members club. There's a more commercial angle to it. There's the proprietary sector. Where do they want to go? Because it isn't just one pathway. And I think articulating that early on is quite key. Mm-hmm. So we emphasize that you've got to give yourself a foundation.
Yeah.
Use that time as a member of the team or operational staff, whatever, to get a real sense of what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because then that gives you a good grounding to move forward.
Right.
Because everyone thinks, I want to be a general manager.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And what do you need to achieve that?
Right. Yeah. So you guys have done a great job just building the brand. So we were outside before this interview, and you were showing me the iconic golf buggies that the Duke actually designed when they first opened again. And you use that image kind of, almost like the branding of the club.
Yeah.
And as well as the dogs. We're here in the former kennel of the estate, and you've got a dog theme that I love that because it really ties in with the values of the folks around here, because this is a dog-loving part of the world.
Absolutely, and it is. We are in the kennels.
Yeah.
So back in the 18th century, these were the kennels. The Duke at the time wanted the finest accommodation in the land for his hounds, and he built these. This had underfloor heating, cavity wall heating here 100 years before the main house.
That's amazing.
And when you sort of look at the history, the curator of the house is fabulous, and he will sort of say that the aristocracy always looked after their dogs and horses better than their people and their guests, and they did. Wow. And so that is, the kennels is, has become an iconic part of Goodwood.
Yeah.
And,
I just love the way you've embraced it.
Well, absolutely. You champion it. Dogs, dogs are welcome. We sell a dog membership. You'll see downstairs there are hand-painted dog bowls. So the dog members have their own dog bowls. We allow dogs on the golf course. And that is, it's embracing it. It's embracing that history. It's embracing that heritage. Mm-hmm. And then you're able to use that to develop that brand. And I think that, the Woody buggy is absolutely iconic. It is something that, it is totally unique. And, it is unique to Goodwood. And it is something that we're looking to develop more and more in terms of that iconic brand statement.
Yeah, you've done it well with like your apparel and the merchandising in the clubhouse. Now I'll just note for the listeners that I love the way the quote unquote pro shop, even though that's not what they call it the shop. There's a fireplace, there's leather chairs to relax. There's very few items. It's sparse, but there's just enough. And I love the way you've used the buggy and you've used the dog logos on the merchandising to really tie into the brand itself. So a question that I ask, I do a lot of logo design and redevelopment in my company. And the question I ask, I call this the interview question. What are the 3 things that you want folks who come and interact with you to take away? What's that lasting memory? So I'll ask you that question. What's the lasting memory or that you want people to, when they leave Goodwood, to have?
Relaxed, fun, and memorable. I think that's what people do take away.
Yeah.
I think I always sort of say that from a golf experience, we're able to surpass people's expectations. Mm-hmm. We don't have from a golf reputation, there isn't necessarily a global reputation of a Wentworth, St Andrews, or whatever. So people aren't sure, if they've never been here, they're not sure what they're going to get. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit with the membership.
Sure.
People aren't sure what they get. So to be able to surpass their expectations is great, and certainly, as you've picked up the environment, we don't have a dress code here. That hasn't caused any problems in 6.5 years for me at all. We allow dogs on the golf course. It hasn't caused any problems at all. So it is a very relaxed, informal environment, but still has that element of being a little bit special. Yeah, actually.
Yep.
So, and that's Goodwood to a T, to be honest with you.
Sure.
That is certainly the environment that Goodwood is able to create. And, because golfers are creatures of habit,
That's an understatement.
Yeah, but absolutely. So it's also just trying to challenge that a little bit. Trying to challenge that a little bit. And actually, as you said earlier when we were talking about the bobble hats, actually, in terms of that brand, we want that branding to go outside golf.
Right.
So, when we look at our product development, absolutely, when you look at clothing manufacturers, the way they're going, a lot of it is lifestyle. Because actually there is creating stuff you're going to wear not just on the golf course but outside.
On this trip that I'm on, I wore all my golf clothes. I love these pants that are light and
but it does, and that's what we want people to be able to do, and that's the way it's
going. And then they carry it with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So sort of going back to what you said, I think I want people to go away really having a sense of fulfillment. We want people to have a memorable experience here.
Right.
Every time they come.
Yeah. I like the fact, I'm going to unpack that a little bit where you said that changing the expectation or getting out of the routine, because I think that's so important to people wanting to come back, because when they experience it, they're getting something new every time. And it's not, when you break that routine, that's actually pretty powerful.
Yeah, it is. It's we're encouraging it with our member event program. There is absolutely a place for monthly medals. We have an Order of Merit, which is 10 major competitions that are drawn, and it's great. However, outside of that, let's have a bit of fun with golf. Yeah. Why can't you play 6-ball greensomes? Yeah. Why don't you do more fancy dress events? We will be doing our Christmas roll-up has become synonymous as we have 130, 40 members playing Saturday before Christmas, shotgun starts. There's always a theme to it. Yep. Santa's elves, whatever, and it's great fun. And actually, it's the one event that is very social. People get involved, and is fun and is memorable. Yeah. This year we have après ski, so it's an après ski theme. They will play golf, hopefully in some very bright, shiny one-piece ski suits, and then we go straight into an après ski party.
Is that like cross-country ski?
No, so après ski. So after you ski, you go for après ski, which is into the bar, have fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is something completely foreign to me.
Taking me back to the Salt Creek Tavern in Breckenridge, Colorado. So,
nice.
So après ski is it's one of the things. So they've done that here.
Fantastic.
Last year they did an après ski party at the Kennels, and so this year we're doing the one for golf. So the idea is we'll finish, gets dark at 4:30. Finish golf straight into straight into an outdoor party on that area there where we do it, because that's what happens. And there's some, certainly within European ski resorts, it's there are some iconic moments in terms of après ski. That's one of the reasons people go. So it's looking actually outside of golf and thinking this is what we're going to do.
Right. What can you tie into it? So last question for you. You, Stuart, as a manager, what would you like your lasting legacy to be here at Goodwood when they look back over the years at what Stuart did here?
I think built a team that delivered memorable experiences. Actually, I could whisper on a little bit longer, but actually that's what we want. A team. I'm incredibly proud of the team and what they do and how they deliver it. At times, at difficult circumstances, but they bought into what it is we've tried to create. I think that I have, and you've seen yourself here, I've got a number of ladies that work within the golf business here that don't do golf, have never, if you'd have told them they were going to work in golf, because actually it's a service, they love the service bit, and golf's just part of that. So for me, I want people to look back and think, and the more time I spend outside of Goodwood and industry events, people look at Goodwood and we've created a reputation, a profile there, which is, I suppose, is a bit synonymous with that actually. Is people come here and they have a very memorable experience.
Yeah, fantastic, man. Thank you so much. That was great. It's a special place, I told you. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Stuart as much as I did. I took away so many lessons. There's so many golden nuggets from that. Check out their website, goodwood.com. I'll catch you back here next week. And until then, here's to your membership success.
Private Club Radio is brought to you by Concert Golf Partners, helping to preserve and enhance private golf and country clubs. Concert Golf has the capital, expertise and private club hospitality experience to help upscale private clubs achieving long-term success and membership growth. For 25 years, Concert Golf has allowed private club members to focus on simply enjoying their club. Visit concertgolfpartners.com to learn more about the recapitalization process.